Well, hello YouTube.
Give us an intro.
Again, this is Bill and Josh here. I'm repping our Only Cops merch today. We are at Bill's Man Cave.
Man cave.
It's a pretty impressive little thing. One of the days we'll give. We still haven't done a tour of this place.
No, not
So
yet.
we have his very smexy table that he has hand built and all these things.
Hand built.
And we're gonna do another podcast style live stream here for everybody.
We're going live.
I'll be monitoring the comments. If you have anything that you specifically want us to see, you can drop a link in the comments. We have a bunch of memes
Yes.
that we're going to laugh at.
A few videos.
Viewer advised.
We're
We
gonna
are
get
going to watch some things that may trigger people or be violent, things of that nature. Probably super get demonetized.
It's going to trigger me.
We're going to do our best to stay as objective and not get pissed off. Some of the stuff I already know is going to make me mad. But if there's any questions about, or if you guys just have any feedback, I will be watching the stream chat so I can answer questions.
Oh, look at us, dude.
But we're in. So,
Let's do it.
anyways,
Pop it up.
we're going to start
Ready?
our chat with memes. And can we make it full screen? Like I said, they can see it. They can see it out
Yeah.
there. So, this was the last, at least the last, 6 months of probably us being on patrol prior to us leaving.
Yeah.
Which we had the illness that will not be named on YouTube that kind of killed a shout out to our department for that, though.
Yeah.
They were pretty cool about kind of putting their money where their mouth was, and it's like, well, if there's weird stuff going on and possibly something that's communicable, maybe you don't
No reason to be
interacting with people.
proactive
But,
as this meme.
Coupling public health and also just the every time you do something and
Get right up.
get right up for it. This is exactly what that experience was like. You'd sit there and you're like, man, and I remember doing this. We used to sit in the parking lot. We'd be like, you remember stopping cars
Yep.
and doing interdiction and because we all kind of know there's high crime areas, and there's places where I'm not gonna say crime is incentivized, but there's areas in which it's easier for you to get away with crime. There's more back alleys, and then there's more people that maybe have
There's just more criminal activity in certain places.
and you could take enforcement action there, and lower crime and all that stuff. But
by being proactive.
yeah, but
See, I feel like this is year 1, year 2.
yeah,
Year 3 is in here somewhere.
kind of in the middle.
Yeah. Year 3 and 4 is in here.
Yeah.
And then year 5 is right here.
So it's interesting when the glasses fully come on, at least in this day and age,
And you
maybe
start
it's
to wake
different.
up, you're
You're like,
oh.
I don't know
I
that there's
see the
an
light.
incentive. I don't know that if this is incentives to be proactive. None. Pee-pee whacking.
Did you
as
find any?
we used to call them. No.
Did you see any?
And you know what? And I was more guilty of this than he was. I would get a hankering to go do something, and he's just look at me like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
What are you?
He'd
And
get
almost
a hankering at 2 hours before we're supposed to get off.
almost every single time I regretted it, and he gave me an "I told you so," and
Yep.
it sucked.
You're welcome.
But either ways, anyways,
This is a good one. I
well,
like
that's
this
a
a lot.
rock solid one. Shout
Ready?
out to Dank Police Memes for the good meme here.
So, this was us for
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah. So for IA, whoever was watching my computer during department time, so they could look at my MDC and see, or I guess if they were to randomly look at my body cam, because they could actively.
Yeah, but it has to tell you.
Yeah, they
It
could
tells you that
remotely
someone's
turn on our body
live streaming
cams,
you.
even if we weren't doing anything. And this is probably half of what they saw. It's like,
Oh, 100%.
I wonder if I can quit my job for YouTube. And
Here we are.
Here we are. So, but
man.
and to be honest, again, in today's day and age, kind of what's happening, specifically for frontline workers like this, is just probably the reality. And for some odd reason, high brass is looking at them maniacally until they leave, and then when they leave, they get real salty.
But you know what's really funny about this? Look how happy the dog is at the
The
bottom.
dog's always happier. The dog is happier.
My dogs were stoked when I quit.
Yeah.
Poorly made police memes. It's a good one.
He said that went well.
What went well?
I don't know.
Be
It's
more specific.
Probably producer Juan talking trash.
So this is a shout out to all of our county friends that wear cowboy hats on duty.
Yes.
Is my dog up? No, she's fine.
Oh, she's fine. Yes. You've yeed. What is it? You've yeed your last haul. That's how you have to say it. Tip the hat. In Texas, this happened because our stadies wear hats, and our county guys can wear cowboy hats, which I'm actually pretty jealous of. I'm actually super. I think there's a lot of sex appeal to a nice little hat. I grew up in Texas, so
especially in a police uniform.
I'm telling you, it looks good. I think it's a good look.
Talking truth. Okay.
But anyways, yeah, this is a. I'm sure there's other states that allow for this. But
this is just my favorite part.
It's definitely.
You've yeed your last haul.
You've yeed your last haul. It's a thing. That's a thing.
Bro, this is me.
Yeah.
Look.
You can have.
This is me right now.
Is this William Dafoe, right?
Yeah.
Golly, look at this guy.
Yeah.
That is I feel like he's always been that, like, haggard, but the beard really puts it together.
I'm even getting grays in mine like he is.
Yep.
Like,
And I will say this. I think this has probably happened no matter what it is. I saw a statistic the other day. It's been circulating through social media where they were saying that, like, the average person goes to, like, 1 to 2 critical incidents, or what would be qualified as critical incidents.
Police go to, like, 600.
In a 20-year career. Yeah. And so, like, I would say, like...
Dude, I think we went to... In 5 years, I think we probably went to close to 200.
I'd say, yeah. That's about fair.
Between, like, gnarly car accidents, bad domestics, deaths.
And I'll say, like, that there's a... It becomes less the more you see, I think. What's he saying? Beard gorillas?
So...
If you watch, so when we first started this, we were still on patrol.
Yeah.
So if you look at, like, a really old video...
I just have a mustache.
We'll just see the mustaches.
Or maybe... I might have been clean-shaven in some of it.
Yeah.
As a mustache got
But
old. But once we started wearing
you could probably watch his beard grow.
Once we started
on camera, if you
watching,
watch those enough.
Those little things that go over your face to protect you from stuff.
Yeah, that too.
My beard got a little longer every day. I went from shaving every day to shaving once a week.
Yeah, but you probably totally could see his grow.
I think so.
But what I was saying about critical incidents is that there's like a varying degree of it, and I think eventually you do become a little bit jaded.
Oh,
so
100%.
As much as you are experiencing the 600 critical incidents or 800 critical incidents in that amount of time, or in a lifetime, if you will say, I think it's almost sad, because I was talking to my wife about this, that I noticed that it takes something pretty catastrophic for me to even give, like, worry about it. I don't
even in public.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be in public and something will happen and my wife's like...
I could be like mid...
Yes.
Like if Cloverfield...
Whatever.
If anyone ever watched that movie, the J.J. Abrams movie, if that ever happened and the cop was the main character, he'd just be so apathetic. The whole time he's like, oh, wow.
You know who's a good example of that? Old boy from The Walking Dead.
Which one?
The sheriff. I don't know his name.
You know what? Yeah, he takes all that on the chin.
He wakes up.
Yeah.
He got shot, right?
Yeah.
He got shot. He wakes up in the hospital. And it's literally a zombie apocalypse. And this dude's just walking around like it's another day as a cop.
He's like, man, this is going to really... I wonder if I'm going to get paid overtime for this. They're probably more mad about that, you know? And honestly, most of his emotional strife had more to do with his wife and his kid.
Yeah.
Everything else he was pretty kosher with.
The world, yeah.
To be honest. Shane...
That's a good example.
That's a great example of just like a cop transitioning into the apocalypse, being like,
we're ready.
We're ready. We're ready.
I feel ready.
I feel relatively ready. So, this is the next one we have. We can thank Poorly Made Police Memes. Give them a follow if you can. This
It's perfect. If you've ever seen a more perfect meme about what fire and EMS do to, especially a crime scene, I pulled a casing out of the tire of an ambulance.
Get out.
Because they drove through, drove right through it.
I have seen, and again, I apologize to anybody that's a civilian or that's kind of queasy when it comes to this kind of stuff. I have seen a man dead in a doornail, got super shot up or super stabbed in some dope rip or something like that. I'm talking like...
We worked in such a nice city.
18 bullet holes kind of thing, and we checked him. EMS goes and checks for the pulse and is like, This guy's, we call it Signal 18.
Yeah.
And here comes Fire, the heroes of the group. I'm talking all 8 of these guys with the stretcher, and they're yelling at us to move, and we're like trying to like set up crime scene tape. They blow through the crime scene tape. They touch this guy, and they're like, all right, he's going to the hospital. And we're like, whoa, guy, like, whoa. Like, I'm supposed to preserve this. And they can kind of tell us to pound sand at that point. And so, what's he saying?
That's true. That's very true. He said zombie apocalypse is just extra people on bath salts.
Yeah. Or you know, probably, what is it? What is that Irish holiday? Everyone gets drunk?
St. Patrick's Day?
Probably just
How
St.
dare
Patrick's
you?
Day.
How dare you?
It's just extra spicy St. Patrick's Day.
I'll show you an extra spicy St. Patrick's Day. Wow.
But anyways, I've seriously seen Fire just completely disregard.
You know who hates the fire department more than the cops? EMS.
Oh, 100%.
Try me on it.
100%.
Ask any EMT.
If there's an EMT watching, go ahead and put it in the comments below.
Even Juan said there's
Producer Juan
can't believe you
defending the Irish honor here.
Now this, I mean, I just this might be a little unfair.
Everyone's skeleton on the inside, we're all relatively the same.
Yeah.
It's just I have a 90% of a bachelor's degree in biology.
Yeah, I mean,
the rest of it's criminal justice.
It's pretty much mostly the same, but. You know what I think this is? This is probably what your skeleton looks like after 15 years sitting behind a desk.
I buy that.
But
the hips calcify.
You're also going to look like this 15 years sitting on your ass in a patrol car because you don't do
100%,
anything.
100%.
So this isn't just for detectives.
This isn't, This is for anybody
Let's call out everybody on this.
Yeah. It's a pretty sedentary life.
But you know, we didn't get paid to work out on duty like firefighters do. So.
Shout out. I'm just jealous. Know that I'm just hating.
This is envy.
This is
envy.
Yeah.
Oh.
He got the shield. That's on Call of Duty right there, bro.
Call of Duty.
That's on Call of Duty. I be fucking them up though. I be shooting at their ankles and shit. That's on Call of Duty.
Okay.
So phrases you don't want to tell cops cops in an active situation is that I shoot them in the ankles. Probably shouldn't be doing that in the middle of an active
Let's back up a little further. If you see cops with their guns out, they're getting a shield out of a car.
Probably shouldn't be.
I'm just going to throw this out there for everyone. Maybe not walk up to them and like start talking shit. Maybe not. It's a friendly
Anyways.
tip.
He got Glock 9. What he got? He got shot. He been out. I need 10 feet. I know the law. 10 feet. I don't got to be on law. I don't got to be on sidewalk. You got to put your yellow tape up. See? You thought I didn't know my shit.
The 10 feet.
So
take that.
And somebody who watches this afterwards can pull up there's precedence on this, or there's case law on this.
Well, it even says it right here.
Yeah, it's not see it, man. Police Post, shout out to Police Post for knowing this stuff.
Great page.
So the way that this is going to be determined is this is where officer discretion comes into it. So if I have, let's say I have like a puddle of what I believe to be bodily fluid, right?
Gross.
I'm going to want like a good...
Go to the bathroom. 10
or 15... Yeah, well, it happened, you know. So I'm going to want about 10 or 15 feet worth of safe space around this so I can preserve this so that some decontamination group can come over here and take care of it, right?
I get what you're saying.
So let's say I have like a...
Is there more to this video?
Let's see.
10 feet, brother. That look like one of them Nintendo shotguns, though, because
it kind of does.
You know what would be funny?
He's mad as fuck.
If he told him to get back a few times.
They got chop.
Oh,
she got big chop.
Got hit with non-lethal. Ooh, golly.
That close?
Bro, what is you doing? You driving the bus?
I used to drive.
If I was that guy, I'd smack the shit out of him.
So what I was getting at is if I have like a tanker truck that's on fire...
That's a good analogy.
And I'm like, well, 10 feet probably isn't far enough in case this thing blows up. Would you give me like 100?
I'm going to be more than 10 feet away.
Exactly.
Because I worked an accident where they drove through a QT gas pump and the fire was going up so high it went around the canopy.
Yeah.
Thank God the QT worker turned the emergency shut off as they run out of the store. Dude, we stayed super far back from that.
And the same thing kind of goes for like... Again, like a gas leak in a neighborhood. We might have to evacuate an entire neighborhood for that.
Yeah.
So, what does it say?
10 feet. It's in the Constitution.
The 10th Amendment.
10th Amendment. It's the 10 Amendment. 10 feet, 10 minutes, 10 cops max in the frame of the camera.
I agree.
I like that. That's
I like
really
it.
good.
You know what?
That's really good.
If you want accurate police-related information, go ahead and ask Producer Juan.
Yeah. He's the best.
He knows everything.
No, literally, ask him all your questions. Send him all your questions.
Either way, it's going to be up to the officer to determine how far safe is, and it is up to them. There's going to be a reasonableness to it. They can't ask you to go move halfway across the country because that's safe enough.
You ready for this one?
Yeah, we're ready for this one.
Police officer punches trespassing suspect in confrontation caught on video.
You know what? I will say this. Shout out to the link or the description of this because they did at least include that there was an offense occurring.
That's true. You're right.
Shout out to whoever was it.
It's not just an innocent person that was walking down the sidewalk
doing reporting. I appreciate it.
Ready? Let's see.
I'll take it off. I'll take it off.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah, this happened yesterday. That's a parking lot right near East Stetson Avenue.
So
and officers say that a 19-year-old...
Oh, my gosh.
I was going to say the punch was pretty kosher, but...
Do we?
So hear me out.
It didn't work. It wasn't effective, though.
So, it was not, no. So, as a person that's arrested a lot of people before, the one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to try to take somebody into custody by myself, right? If there's any cop that's out here that
especially if you're already in a verbal altercation, like you can tell they were in a verbal altercation already.
Any hotshot cowboy guy that's watching this is, well, cops just do whatever. I arrest people by myself all the time.
Well, you're an idiot.
Probably turned out like this.
You're an idiot.
Or anyone actually,
yes.
Because again, like, and we talked about this that when I first got out of academy and got on patrol. I was shocked at how compliant everyone was. They were like preparing me for ninjas to be falling out of the sky to come fight me everywhere. And then randomly, some events happened later in our career, nationally speaking, and the news decided to cover them a certain way. And so then everybody started resisting. It was a thing. Like, I went from...
The verbal resistance tripled.
Yeah, but I went from maybe having like one in every 100 arrests where I had somebody resisting. And these are like on slam dunk charges. This is like shoplifting or like DWI.
Shoplifters always
something
run
like that.
I don't
they do, that's what I'm saying. And typically when you catch them, they're fine. But like I went from like you'd go tell somebody that their headlights were out, and you'd stop the car because you're like, hey man, it's like 2:00.
Why are you stopping me?
Yeah, and he's immediately confrontational.
Did you know your headlight was out?
So
no, I never look at those.
Yes. So all I'm getting at is like we got a lot more resisting.
Okay.
In those arrests. So with that in mind, especially in today's day and age, you shouldn't be taking anyone into custody, just from a safety standpoint.
Also, I'm sure he's wearing a body camera.
Sure.
But have we not figured out already that everyone is going to record every confrontational situation?
Oh yeah.
Police or non-police.
100%.
Like, it's in a parking lot, and it looks like a strip center.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably 50 different angles of this.
Oh, 100%.
Punch
Yeah.
From all the people recording. And when are you going to figure it out?
And there's the homies, and we ascribe to this. We have training in this. There's the guys that are going to go out there. And we're going to have there's a whole conversation you can have about jiu-jitsu, and there's a lot of different ways that you can have empty hand techniques that don't require punching someone in the face to go do this. We don't fully know the content. I believe prior to this, he had already been
asked
CT'd.
to leave. So fine.
I think he'd already been CT'd, so I think this guy's taken into custody for criminal trespass.
You have to arrest him because he's
now actively
the
criminal trespassing at that point.
I get that, but again, dude, why not sit in your car?
Yeah.
Keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Wait for another officer to get there,
and
then you can take him into custody.
And I guarantee you, if there's 5 cops with this guy, he's not fighting like that. If there's 2 or 3 cops with this guy that are capable officers,
you know what 2 cops would have done? 2 cops would have stopped that punch from happening.
Exactly.
If
there's anything to glean off of this...
Edmund Franklin had been accused of panhandling and trespassing there.
Still by yourself.
What is this?
So pause.
Well, officers...
I just want to rewind this guy just a smidge. I'm just going to show you how dangerous it is to arrest somebody by yourself.
And officers say that a 19-year-old named Edmund Franklin had been accused
especially when you have no control.
So look at this right here. Look at this lady right back here. So, my super jaded mind right here, imagine if this was this guy's friend, right? And he's over here. He's loading. Was it the Glock 9? As we're calling it.
The Glock 9.
He's loading.
It's in Call of Duty.
Loading his Glock 9, right? And he's peeking over this, and just taking pot shots at you.
Being stealthy.
Or coming out to sucker punch you.
You know what freaks me out in these situations?
Yeah.
Cars.
100%.
You're in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Laying on the ground.
Heck, and later in this clip, you can see that there's a car like pulling out.
Well, officers say after he returned to the area,
this is
they
just
tried
not
to
good.
detain him, and that's when a quote use
I like her.
force.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, dude.
Now,
Imagine.
police say that they
Yeah.
are
Come on.
I'm just getting at that, like, most of this is, and again, if you're riding two man, you have a built-in back. We'll always come back to that. This is another argument for riding two man. But that
Now we do it every day.
Yeah, every day.
Here we are.
Every day.
That's right.
But
Terrible high
this is
five.
kind of the argument.
Don't judge us on that high five.
For this. Now, the only place where I might see a punch like this, maybe more. There was a similar situation. They're arresting a guy. He was doing an open air drug deal. There's 3 officers that were dealing with him. He ended up punching him in the face to get his hands behind his back, and the guy ended up being armed.
Ooh.
And so this guy's not taking off his backpack, or he's reaching for his backpack or whatever, and you might have some reason to believe that person's armed.
Yeah.
In that instance, again, this guy pulling a gun on me and him punch again. I'll punch someone in the face if it means not doing that. However, punches in the face don't typically cause compliance, and so that's why A, they look bad, and B, they don't really help with compliance. It's kind of why most modern training that is up to date is going to be like, yeah, punches in the face.
And you know why they taught us jiu-jitsu? Because it looks better on camera.
It does. You could accomplish the same amount of compliance.
It's also more effective.
Heck,
but they didn't shy away from that.
Yeah.
They said, you guys are going to learn this because it's going to keep you out of trouble when you do get into a physical
100%. And so I will always champion the idea of having better empty hand skills than just what ASP teaches, and that's, kneeing dudes and having a 4-foot baton or whatever it is.
He was carrying like a riot baton.
Yeah, it was pretty. I don't know. Again,
I'm excited for this.
Batons are a big waste of space.
I haven't seen this.
Let me check the things.
Simple accident devolves into wild scene.
I like my headlights off. I'm being stealthy. It's actually a cop thing. When you're rolling up on somebody, you'll turn off
always
your lights, which is creepy. And then Juan is bragging about riding 2 men.
Juan, dude, listen.
More power to him.
We understand that you're not here, but we don't need to know what you're doing. Okay,
we're pro that.
So. We're gonna watch this video now to change the subject.
We'll go full
what car do you? What's going on this road? That's a full of it. I'm sorry, I'm having severe anxiety attack right now. Okay, do you want an ambulance? Okay.
It's a car accident.
What car do you belong to? My mom. I was cutting through Southford.
No. What car, hon?
They hit me coming.
Okay, what car is your car?
You see how many times she had to ask that question?
She's also not changing the way she's talking to this lady, so some of that's on her.
I'm with you, but all I'm just saying is that this is what happens when somebody's like in an excited state.
Yeah, I understand. But
mine's the gold van.
Yours is the gold van. Okay. And where were you when this all went down?
I got a witness.
Was it?
Out of nowhere.
This officer hates traffic stops. Or not traffic stops.
Car accidents. I didn't like accidents either. I worked a lot.
That's why you didn't like them.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
They are a ton of work for like nothing, insurance purposes for people. But you can tell when she goes, "And where were you?" Hates them, which is fine.
And part, like I said, we're
judgy.
We're nitpicking here, but
because we can.
Yeah, your attitude. You'd be surprised when you get it back. You probably get, she's gonna get some of this back.
I go to turn, and she's speeding her ass off before I can even get out of the way.
Okay, just hang out over there for me, honey. Just hang out over there.
You can have all the drug out of
ma'am,
you want.
hang out over there for me.
Please go.
Go on that side of the road for me. Thank you.
So that accounts for you running a stop.
Ma'am,
right into a right of way.
Oh,
go on that side of the road.
She's figured things out quickly.
I was behind her when it happened.
It's also why you separate parties so you don't have a yelling match.
Come on.
It's super annoying, and it's also again why you should have at least 2 officers.
Oh, now there's a third person.
Oh yeah.
And 1 cop.
She was asking if.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Fire's back there being a hero.
Bro, he's coming up.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
Don't approach police like this.
This guy.
Up. Get your ass off. Up. Back.
Oh, no.
That's my shit.
No.
Back.
My pen would be on the ground. My notepad would be behind me.
I understand.
Just
There
woke
is
up.
no reason.
Don't care.
He's mentally ill.
Okay, then
There
we
is
need to get
no
him
Also
out
don't
of here.
care.
That's my mother car.
I understand that, and we are taking care of it.
You better have insurance, mother.
Is
Hey,
this
there's
fire?
another cop.
This is EMS?
Get my
Oh, this is EMS? Oh, it's cop.
That's
Oh,
another cop
Pete.
who hasn't said a word yet.
Yes.
Give me a break.
Gotta help out your primary officer.
Gosh.
So, and again, if and this kills me a lot because I've had this situation happen a bunch of times where we were at a scene and then somebody comes running out of an apartment or comes running out of a car and they're screaming at us, and it's the same deal where you're trying to de-escalate and you're trying to be like, hey, I can't have you approaching me or other parties. And I'm glad instead of just continuing to back up and just saying, hey, back up, she at least was like physically stopping them.
Yeah.
You do eventually need to body people and get them to stop doing stuff.
Well, she had to get him away from that other guy.
Agreed.
Because that would have been
to stop
a
a fight
physical
from
fight
happening.
between those two.
But if
Man.
you know that your person, like she said, she's like, well, he's mentally handicapped or whatever she said. He's got
Mentally ill.
Mentally
I'm not
ill.
buying that. He
why are
seems-
you letting him walk around? Why are you letting him run? Like why are you allowing him to be in that situation? I want to see fisticuffs. Mutual combat.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think
Alright.
this is Texas.
No.
But what I'm getting at is that
Columbus.
yeah, you
Makes
need to
more
be.
sense.
If
You
you're
live in
getting
Ohio,
if you're
gonna
getting
be
that much
angry.
arguing, and that you probably should be getting other units and stuff like that, we don't get to know whether she's doing that. Or not.
Hey,
Stop.
you got
He's
insurance?
still going.
Yeah.
That's enough.
I told you get the
Yeah.
off.
So,
No.
pause.
That is enough.
So somebody starts grabbing back at you
Jeez.
and threatening you, but you gotta detain that guy. And again, it's not that you're putting handcuffs on him and placing him somewhere because you want to take him to jail. You're protecting him from himself. At that point,
Yeah.
This isn't. This really goes into like an officer safety and a subject safety thing.
Well, also, good luck getting any kind of investigation done with this
While that's
guy.
happening, yeah.
Like, it's a
Get
car
have
accident.
have all that stuff.
Oh, the
Hey, there's a
backup came.
officer. Look at that.
Childish ass.
Hey, shout out to Fire for helping with this arrest. That's respect.
So they did handcuff him.
Yeah.
Oh, she finally put her gun
Two
away.
guys that just got 3 cars, or 3 people that just jumped out, kind of. Huh?
Oh,
These guys are starting to shoot.
you got him.
Yeah, we got him.
The other thing is, Fire shouldn't be telling you how to be situationally aware.
No comment.
Shout out to Fire though.
I have nothing nice
Really,
to
he's
say.
like the all-pro firefighter engineer.
Nothing nice to say. There's some dudes in our old city that were
They were
like
good
this.
dudes. I had a couple. I don't remember which engine.
We might
it
make
was,
fun of them, but
but they had a couple stations that had really good. You could tell like
Juan said you should have never taught him about mutual
Probably
combat.
not. I had a couple good, and you could tell like I had fire lieutenants that were out there helping
Yeah.
sometimes, and you could tell because everybody under them had that same mentality.
Even
that,
they
like,
get bored. and
well, and even
wanna
then,
help.
like we're all out here to try to create safe. You know, we're all out here trying to provide a service to the people.
But
in
dude,
the
if you heard this, well, and first of all, it's clips, so we don't know if
yeah,
she
you don't
got
know
on
what's
the
going
radio.
on. Yeah,
But if she got on the radio and you heard someone yelling like that, I don't care if you got dispatched or not. Him and
You're
I would
going.
be moving
You're
that
going
way,
with that, yeah.
and we're on scene. Go ahead and just show us on scene.
Because again, these guys are kind of blessed, and this happens a lot. You'd be amazed at how quickly you can become complicit when you're used to this level of contention and nobody produces a weapon.
Yeah.
Or nobody becomes assaultive. And so you get kind of comfortable with this idea that, well, somebody can yell at me and put hands on me, but I'm still fine. And it sets a very dangerous precedence in your mind because when somebody does, we'll eventually get to these, we have a couple of these lined up. When somebody does commit to violence, you're stuck in a bad spot
Yeah.
because you automatically initiate, again, controlling that situation.
Good.
And this is the mind games that go on in law enforcement.
Who are you?
Go.
You know him. I want to know what the going on. Well, we're working on that. No,
Hey.
who the on the phone
Pause.
running?
Not a single civilian here grabbed this chick, and that's a sin on them. That's a sin on them. Can I tell you what? I know a
Also-
handful of officers that would have bodied her just for that.
I would have.
Yeah.
You're gonna come run like
Yeah.
you're gonna come running
No,
up
no,
to
no,
me,
no, no.
f bombing me and f bombing
Yeah.
this, and I want to know what the f's going on. I'd be happy.
But
to tell you
what kills me
while you
is
sit in the back
if
of a
any
police
of these
car.
people know who this chick is, why are not like? And this is like the crux of a lot of these issues. When we get viral videos, or you get stuff that has to. There's typically like 15 people standing there doing nothing.
Bro,
some of which know
we're never going to Columbus.
Yeah, no
This is how people act in Columbus.
Well, but like
count me out.
And like you'll have all of these other involved parties that clearly have no interest in making a safe environment. I have seen situations where it's like a kid robbing a bank or something crazy, and the officers are fighting this guy and he's not complying. They're like, "Hey, dude, can we help?" I've seen those scenes where you have people that have a vested interest in creating safety. In this situation, I have yet to see a single civilian party.
Well, that one lady came out and she's like, "He's mentally ill."
And grabbed him, but didn't secure him because eventually it became a problem for PD. So
I'm excited to see what.
Yeah.
Okay, the guy in handcuffs. So relax. I will
Go.
Okay, this guy's helping. Blue sweater's helping.
Not helping.
I respect
No,
it.
it's not helping. Please. You know what? Okay, let me try to handle this.
Go, please.
Come on, blue sweater. Go, blue sweater.
Hey, George, are you okay? Yeah,
Everybody's fine. Everybody's fine.
Just making sure.
Jesus.
Okay, shout out to blue sweater for helping. But like,
this is when I love body cams.
Yeah,
when you catch that.
It happens. You'd be amazed at how often like something. This really should be taking a report call on. It turns into this because and this is there's ignorance, which means not knowing something, and there's ignorance, which is this. This is ignorance.
Let's see if we can roll more
I don't like how he's like that. I mean, obviously we haven't learned anything in history.
Okay.
No, he is. That's how the died.
He's right here. It's fine. They're not on.
Yeah, but listen. Oh, you put my over here.
All right, Rico's on his way. Your mom's on his way.
That's all right.
They do have him in the recovery position. Obviously, he's detained in handcuffs. You have medical personnel on site evaluating him that are perfectly capable of knowing whether or not.
Also, let's just say this. Just because one thing happened, you're not going to change.
Yeah, no.
Safe
Protocol, all that
policing.
kind of stuff, yeah. Oh.
What is that?
Oh, what's going on, Michael? It says here, about to start my shift, but I want to pop in and say I made it. Greed Salt's particular video is a cluster.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, this was a quite a cluster. Shout out to Michael. He's always on his videos. He's in the comment section.
I love it.
I hope you have a good shift. If we're still on, we'll be on here for a little bit. We'll see you. So anyways, in this situation, you're still going to keep this guy detained. You're going to leave him on the floor until you have somewhere to put him, typically. They do have him in the recovery position.
Where do you want him? On his back with handcuffs behind his back?
It didn't feel great.
He's on his side.
Handcuffs don't feel great. I'm going to have a whole discussion. Well, eventually we'll get to this. I want to talk about hinge cuffs versus chained cuffs versus... There's a whole discussion.
And let's be honest. Those are probably chained cuffs. He's not in hinge cuffs.
Yeah. But...
I'm gonna find out what these motherfuckers.
Okay.
What's up?
Nobody's hurt.
No, nobody's hurt, but when I keep...
It is handled.
I understand
It is handled.
I'll be honest.
Don't start
yelling.
yelling.
Yelling at somebody is not going to help. I get it. I totally get it. And I'm like team after one. Because fuzzy handcuffs.
Fuzzy cuffs, yeah. Yes. Probably fuzzy.
Michael, we appreciate you.
Probably fuzzy.
Juan's wearing fuzzy handcuffs right now.
Probably.
While he's writing
That's why his
2 men.
comments are so slow. He's typing like this.
I will say this: like yelling at somebody doesn't de-escalate it. Telling somebody to calm down doesn't help. This
Guess
is psychology
what?
101.
It also lets them know that you're out of control.
Yeah.
You have just lost control.
I totally get it from this officer's standpoint. This is a stupid situation that ignorance is complete.
You know when you yell? When everyone's gone, and you drive to that empty parking lot, and you're talking to this guy, and you just grab the steering wheel and you go, "These."
Yeah. All the things that we won't say on YouTube. We have that conversation. That'll be for the Patreon/Discord group.
That's right.
Shout out to anybody that wants to join us on that.
He is wearing handcuffs. What more do you want?
We ain't scared.
Who said you were scared?
Yes,
everyone?
Get the car.
Hey, the red sweater. Heck yeah.
Far away, please.
Heck yeah.
I appreciate that.
So they showed up in a vehicle.
Are we fighting more?
This neighborhood is wild.
Got the wrong one.
Is that a cop? Is that like a...
I think that might be a
captain?
cop, yeah. I will also say this: I am not leaving my car unsecured like this.
No way,
when
dude.
I'm surrounded by ignorance.
Why is your door open?
Yeah.
Oh,
Juan said he's typing with his feet.
Makes a lot more sense. What's he doing with his hands then? What? Weird.
Michael, thank you for not being weird. You're the only one in the chat right now that's not weird. Yeah, man, like, and you gotta. So the whole point of tactics is to not trust anybody, and the whole point of that is to put yourself in a position to be successful and to be safe. And so you gotta kind of have to assume everyone's going to be ignorant until they give you a reason to not feel that way. So,
but also, you're a cop. Every call is frustrating.
Yeah.
Why are you yelling?
Yeah. And I get it. I'm not there anymore because of calls like this, and you can only tolerate this for so long. And this also makes it weird. Like I realized that now that I'm out, I have way less tolerance for any level of ignorance because I feel like I wasted all of it on people like this.
I had a lifetime full of this.
Look over there. Look at that cloud right up there. Look at it.
You're being cited for
I
driving.
like this guy. I like this guy.
His de-escalation
Look at that
technique. You
cloud.
know what? Go
Right
look at
over
that.
there.
Go look at that cloud. All right, shut your mouth.
A license which you were under non-compliance suspension. Okay. And then you're also being cited for a stop sign.
Nope.
Basically, if you
Nope.
okay, I will explain it to you. The stop sign violation states that.
So I'm gonna be honest. 9 times out of 10, I mailed my citations
Me
for
too.
this very reason. Somebody
People
gets in an
are already
accident,
hyped up from the accident,
and they're like, "This guy doesn't have insurance. I just totaled my car. I'm super pissed off." And I'm like, well, "You got failure to maintain financial responsibility. You got." And I was like, "We'll go ahead and mail these."
You know
guys.
what's funny? When they asked,
Yeah.
who's getting the citation? We'll have to determine that.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'd skirt that all the way. You know what? And
But-
that's de-escalation.
Those are the people that you know have been in accidents and gotten citations before.
Yep.
Because normal people don't know that you get
No.
tickets.
No. This guy's totaled his like
Like if
fifth.
it's your first accident, you're like,
it's his 5th Jeep Grand Cherokee that he's totaled, and yeah.
bro, that was a Buick LeSabre.
Oh, I know.
Come on,
yeah.
this is
I
Columbus.
don't see. Yeah.
Come on, look at this neighborhood.
Is that a Buick
You can
LeSabre?
stop,
There's a Tundra
but
back there.
also have to make sure that the intersection.
That's probably what that other cop showed up in.
That's your responsibility as a person with a stop sign. So if you want to contest the court, I'm sorry, if you want to contest the citation, your court date is the 7th.
I'm going.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what's going to happen,
There you go.
but it will.
Okay,
Yeah, anyways,
thank you, sir.
I was
Glad we're done with that one.
been that.
Boy.
Been there for that.
Oh, let's
Well,
get
we
back
got
to the
another
funny.
Again, thank you again to poorly made police memes for. Let's see if I had to characterize this. Let me explain it to the non-police people. Police brass. I don't know if they call it brass. We call them administrators.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go with brass here. It's gonna be like anybody above like the P2, P3 level, which is like sergeants, lieutenants.
Yeah.
Everybody.
If you have like things on your collars or like extra stripes,
Any of
or
those
different
things.
colors.
I'll give a pass to corporals. They're like the police equivalent of drill sergeants, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
They get
Extra stripes, not
Yeah,
two.
yeah,
More than
yeah,
two.
yeah.
This is hilarious.
So what?
Especially after the
what-
last summer we just had.
What I would change about this, having experienced this, is I would make this. I got Aztec in my ancestry here. I would make this the mantle there at Tenochtitlan. This would be the guy telling this guy to cut their heart out, and that would be him doing it, and then ripping my still beating heart out of my body, and praising it to the mob, saying, "See, I punished this officer," and then tossing my corpse down the steps. That would be more accurate.
And then you would stand on the top and say, "I'm a good police officer."
As I said, I am.
Oh, enough of that.
For those of you dyslexic like me, I'll read it for him. Thank you for your service. Says to this very striking. This is a handsome firefighter.
It's the beard.
It's the beard. This guy looks good. It's Viking looking.
I don't know why it's
firefighter.
blonde, but it's the
And he
beard.
says, "Thanks. I had a great nap. Probably did have a great nap."
Probably, yeah, in a lazy boy. After
Here
you eat
is,
a big old bowl of chili.
Here is police meme.
The
police
night shift officer.
Yeah, the night shift officer for sure. You can tell because of his red eyes. Thank me for my service. I stay up all night to keep you safe. AK. Same person, too. Like, it's the same person.
Oh.
And you know what? This is kind of like Hansel and Gretel. This is a lesson for you. If you're going to be a first responder and you're dead set that you want to go make a difference,
change your mind.
Or go be a firefighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had to do it all over again.
All the money, none of the hate, pretty much.
Most of them. It's pretty similar salaries.
Yeah. They get benefits and everything. I don't know, man. It's less sexy, but...
Yeah. Is it?
No,
they
you
get to work
try.
out.
And I will say this. Everyone gets more cool that, like, when you have to go to... Like, I had to do... It was a thing at a church. They were doing sort of community celebration, and we took a patrol car. Mm-hmm. And we even had, like, one of the nicer, newer Chargers.
Yeah.
And, of course, they brought an
Nicer.
engine. Yeah, it's nicer. It's a patrol car.
Yeah.
And it was just funny because I had to give everybody, like, the requisite, please don't get in there, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
This is probably, like, 2018, I think.
I just think it's funny, like, in those situations, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm a police officer, and everyone automatically gets stressed.
Yeah, oh,
starts
yeah.
looking around.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a firefighter. Oh,
yeah, everybody was Jones about the fire truck. Heck, I got in the fire truck.
I mean,
thought it was cool.
I'd be Jones about a fire truck.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
It's fine.
Totally a thing.
Just jealous.
Oh, we got another video, so we make it full screen. This is a good one, if we can.
We can't on this one, I don't think. It's like a cell phone video.
So they're taking a guy into custody, obviously, here. And
probably another criminal trespassing by the looks of the 7-Eleven storefront.
You know
Just
what?
going to call it.
This is a CT warning for sure. That this guy decided not to
got CT warned, and then it came back, and he was mouthing off to the clerk, so the clerk called 911.
Yeah. Shout out to Police Post.
And these two officers showed up.
Damn fucking rookie ass motherfuckers. You guys can't hang? Fucking rookie, you can't hang?
Was it? It's not often that I agree with the cameraman, especially in these instances.
So, and again, I'm not there. I am not here to disparage officers that are out there still fighting the good fight, okay?
Go learn jiu-jitsu, though.
But,
come on.
And part of that's probably on the department. Not, again.
No, in this day and age, if you want to be a cop and your department doesn't offer it, go find a jiu-jitsu gym that will give you free classes, because they're out there.
You need empty hand skills. I'm not going to say I never struggled to take somebody into custody, because it totally happened.
But also, this is 2-on-1, and let's watch how bad it gets.
I'm with you. Yeah, it does get bad.
Fucking rookie ass mother.
So we'll talk about this.
Okay.
Baldy here.
He's up top.
He's got the trunk, and sat there and was like, put him on the ground. I'm for it. It's not the prettiest thing ever, but fights never are.
No.
And they got some stuff. There's no MMA cage in the world that's got a car sitting in the middle of it. Okay.
A running car.
And you're not typically doing that on concrete. It's easy to throw somebody on a mat when it's padded and not going to scratch the hell
But let's see what officer number 2 does.
So, but I will say this: this is like a very poor take in the back.
Yes, but at least he's got something.
I'll give him that.
And then,
so number 2 guy here is, I guess,
and why is this guy able to stand up against the car?
Yeah,
because officer number 2 didn't take his legs.
He decided to go for arms instead of legs. Just as a rule of thumb, and again, if you cannot control the body, you do not need to be trying to control hands. Because
also your legs are way stronger than your
100%.
arms.
Well, again,
so if
keeping
you take
him,
those out of
and again,
the
trying
equation,
to keep him on the ground is more important and that kind of stuff.
Pigs can't hang. Look at that pig.
Yep, there he goes.
Look at these fucking
And they're fighting over each other.
Look at these
And he's up.
He's up.
Now he goes for
Single leg. Gotta wrap up both.
Nope.
And he's gone.
Oh, he's running.
Pigs can't hang.
Oh. Caught him on the...
Got the trunk.
Look at these fucking pigs
bench.
can't hang. Look, fucking rookie motherfuckers
Pause.
can't hang.
See right there too. So you got 2 officers trying to go, and we talked. We were pretty lucky. We got a lot of this training.
Yeah.
But so if there's 2 of y'all, and you're both going for this, his torso.
Yeah.
He still has his legs. You can see this a lot in football. Is another example of this, where if I go and I hit a guy up high, right, and he meets me shoulders to shoulders, right. Probably not. We're just gonna be pushing each other at that point. All he's got to do is stiff arm me or whatever. But if somebody gets his legs, while I'm going for his upper body.
Good luck moving.
It's a chop block if it's football.
Moving,
but
dude.
again, you're here to win this fight. And this guy, we're not controlling his legs. And you can see that they're continuing to go for his arms to try to put him into a handcuffing position, but you really can't do that if, again, this guy's just going to turn around and run.
He would run in handcuffs because he still has use of his legs.
He still got his legs.
Look at this rookie motherfucker get hit. Fucking
So
look.
the other thing too, and we'll talk about this, and that they'll getting on the radio is kind of important here. Also.
Which they haven't done yet. But there's a reason why.
There's a limitation. We'll get to that. But getting on the radio and getting other units there, that kind of stuff, just notifying them that you're fighting. That's really all it takes is you just key up and, hey, I'm going to fight.
That's all you need.
Whatever it is.
Because they should know where you are.
You're not putting the guy in handcuffs. You might as well get on the radio and help. And what I'm getting at too is it's not just because you're trying to get this guy into custody. You need a third or fourth officer to help get this guy into custody. You've clearly a contentious crowd around you.
Yeah.
That again, at any one point in time, it's just like the guy.
Not just around you. Look how close this dude is.
Yeah.
This
at
is
any one point in time, these guys can go
shot.
from being people with a cell phone to assaultive, and that can go downhill really, really quickly. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll keep playing. Not grab his other hand. Get him to the ground.
Look at these rookies.
This guy looks drunk too.
Look
Hey, we got him on the ground.
Is.
Pause it. Look at this. He's on his legs. Got high five to Mr. Officer here.
Yeah, but look what else he's doing.
Yeah,
he had to pull his radio out.
So he's finally getting on his radio. He's yanking out his radio and keying up on it.
How a department in 2021 doesn't have radios with microphones?
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
So same thing again with earpieces is kind of the same deal that, and you really can't have an ear. You can hook up an earpiece if it goes all the way down to the actual body of it. It gets a little weird. You really need to have a way to get up to your radio to communicate on it when it's not on your waist. Because again, in this situation, they could have had units a lot sooner.
And watch what happens.
Look at these bitch ass niggas. Look at these bitch ass niggas right here. Look, bitch ass niggas.
There they are.
Hey, crazy.
They were already on the way, but
so maybe they got on the radio beforehand. But well, I will say this:
in most fights, your radio keys up accidentally, anyways.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of safety stuff going on here. What we're gleaning out of this is obviously technique matters, training matters, having empty hand skills is important. Shout out to guys like Tim Kennedy.
I like
that are promoting this kind of stuff.
The bottom of the caption where it says "No comments needed. Handle your shit." It's pretty I'm
just saying.
You signed up for this job, dude.
You can't say, "Well, I'm going to go be a cop," and what's such a small part of it, but it'll eventually be part of the job. It'll eventually be there, so you need to anticipate that happening, and part of that's having the skills and the fitness to be able to do that.
And why would you not want to learn something like that can protect you all the time?
Yeah. So,
but moving on.
We've both been there. We've both had to make that. If you're a cop and you've never been in that kind of fight, I don't know where you're policing, and if you are, maybe I'd go be a cop.
No, I'm good. Thanks. I'll sit here in my man cave. Thank you.
It is much nicer.
So this was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Las Vegas PD, right?
Yeah.
So this is a shooting. This is not necessarily a shooting breakdown. We're not going to get into all the use of force stuff, but
no. But it was like the dude fled from a traffic stop, got pulled over, rounds were exchanged. That's why
this guy got right out of his car and
his gun
discharged some rounds. So the scary part is,
but
I don't think he had enough time to go to what we call slide lockback, because the gun's reciprocating and you run out of bullets and the magazine follower pushes up on your slide stop. That is not what happened there.
No, that
is sketchy McSketchville.
I'm going to say this is probably user error.
Maybe. You think he was like riding up on the slide stop?
No, I don't think he had one in the chamber.
Oof.
That's my guess.
Sketchy
I don't
too.
know.
Anyways.
But because it didn't look like a malfunction.
Yeah.
And now he's
tapping racket.
Yeah.
Control D61 shot.
He has a good.
Look at him getting on the radio. Though.
Yeah. But he can also do it right here instead of pulling it out of this.
He's giving orientation of where he's at, where he's going. He's giving information to other units that are going around.
We do not have visual on a suspect.
Getting cover. It's good for him.
I respect it.
Ooh. Gun malfunction.
Okay. So one round goes off and your gun goes. He's in.
Yeah, dude.
So we had we did force on force training, and we use what's called simunition rounds, and so it's just like a Glock, but it shoots like little paintballs. Is what it does. And these things were so insanely unreliable. Like I'd say
they were soap.
Yeah.
So they had almost no weight to them.
Yeah.
But they would fire out like an actual projectile.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting the full recoil of your gun, but then sometimes the soap would disintegrate and you basically just have an empty casing in your Glock. Because you used a Glock.
I don't know that I got... And they put us in scenarios where it was like going to be a very clear, like people are coming out of the woodworks to come shoot at us, or it's
they had one where we were on the ground and they told us we had to move around on our backs and shoot. You know how many times I had to on the ground?
We were issued at the time, we had Gen 4 Glock 17s. And so our simunition guns were Gen 4 Glock 17s. And somehow, in some way, I had nightmares legitimately for like a week. It was still an academy, so I'm not even going on the patrol yet.
I will say, this guy has a great malfunction.
He's at least going at it. He's at least not just looking at it like, something. He's at least working at trying to clear that. But, like, I had legitimate nightmares of this. I probably drilled 1,200, 1,500 rounds through when I first finally got my duty gun.
Ammo?
Yeah, back when you could buy it. This is back in, like, 2017, 2018. But
ready?
Yeah, we'll keep going.
So...
Oh, man. We'll possibly take rounds here.
And then there's that.
I don't know if that was him.
Get down, man!
I didn't sound...
Pretty sure... I don't know, dude.
It sounded pretty far.
Control, did you see one subject is down?
I think that was him.
Maybe that was him. Golly! Talk about a binary trigger on his Glock, my guy. Anyways, man, so... and there goes a lot into, like, having... aftermarket parts. I think this is specifically what Police Post talked about. I think they were the ones that posted that.
Yeah.
Was that if you're going to put anything, it better actually be Gucci parts on it. And this stuff needs to be function.
Well, and that's why most departments don't let you modify your duty weapon. Like, they were very specific with our rifles.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. So, like,
There it is.
This goes with life-saving equipment. This should go more with police vehicles, because patrol vehicles are death traps. But
especially when they just buy the base vehicle and then throw some police stuff in it.
I used to go through and lubricate my handcuffs because I was worried about them not working when I need them to.
Especially the steel ones.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
the steels would always get stuck.
And so, like, obviously you want to be buying good equipment and maintaining good equipment, and then training with that equipment. But, like, that's the why. You start running into situations where, what's this going to say? I should do some. We're working on gear reviews. We're working to try to get some gear reviews on. We're going to talk about a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of, I'll call it duty-related gear.
You want to do a gear review?
Just right now, yeah. We're going to we'll pull stuff in right now, right?
No, we'll get kicked off.
Yeah, we'll get kicked off for that. We'll make some Patreon-specific stuff for the pew-pews.
Yeah. He did a good job, all things considered.
I given what was going on, but it's got to be a very bad...
But you could tell that he has trained that. Because you don't get a malfunction like that, have zero training, and just drop your mag, hit your slide, and put a new mag in, and then...
Yeah, I will give him that I'm glad he was able to do that. He should have died in that situation. Probably. He knows that. This guy's probably getting super PTSD in this incident, and that he at any one point in time, his pew is not pewing. He could have been taking rounds that whole time. And so, like, make sure that you have good gear. This is why you're spending money on good gear. This is why you don't dick with it if it's not going to help.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to throw on a better sights. It's another thing to maybe throw on like a base plate on it. Maybe.
I didn't do anything to my.
That's what I'm saying. It was just standard. We eventually went to the Glock 45s, which is a 19 slide on a 17 frame. It's the Glock 19X basically, but without the lanyard loop and not in flat dark earth. But that frontline gear is so important. Again, it's why our tasers have to go through a bunch of stuff.
You know what would have been helpful in that situation? A rifle.
Yeah. And again, if I'm the citizenry, and there's a whole discussion to be had about that, if I'm the citizenry and I have a guy running around shooting at people, and so I know that the cops are going to shoot back, do I want this officer, and again, you can talk more about weapon-mounted lights here, in our department, we could not have weapon-mounted lights while we were there, and so
this was us in the dark.
This hand with a gun, and then this hand with a flashlight. So I'm now going to get into shooting one-handed with a handgun under stress, and that's if my gun doesn't pick up or anything weird like that. So does the citizenry want me to be judiciously accurate with one hand and a flashlight?
And we did not train that.
No, not enough. No. Well, and again, even if you do train that, I want anybody that's IPSC, whatever, shooter, whatever, IDP, whatever the super trained. These guys are shooting 1,000 rounds a week probably, even now. Would you want to run a course with just one hand?
Nope.
The whole thing. And you're having to hold a flashlight in the dark. No.
Never.
And what are your scores going to look like? You're going to be like Charlie, 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 Alpha if you spend enough time really sitting there looking at your sights. Under stress, give me a rifle. If I'm the citizenry,
every day.
I would want this guy looping rounds in there with a rifle. A, it's going to be more accurate, and B, with modern loadings, you can get bullets that won't be over penetrating and will actually do the job. So there's a whole discussion we'll have about that, hopefully.
On Patreon.
Yeah, probably on Patreon.
Because we're not going to talk about guns on YouTube.
Yeah, we know better. There's a corporal. Look at this
Never, ever, and under any circumstance ever, does another person need to be so close to someone you're handcuffing.
Well, and again, we'll get into this again. Handcuffing by yourself. Taking someone into custody by yourself probably shouldn't be happening ever.
Yeah. This dude's lucky that what happens is all that happened.
Yeah.
But it's pretty embarrassing. Reaching in the front.
It's going to give her a good goodbye little rub there.
Reaching in the back. Reaching in the front. Reaching down in there. Yep, there it is. Hold it out. Okay. Get the camera off of it.
So I'm not mad about him not getting this, because eventually she's going to go to the jail. They're going to search the jail and would have found what's presumably either cocaine or marijuana or whatever.
Who knows?
Some sort of clearly something she didn't want to go to jail with. Could have also been money, for all we know. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what it was. There's a reason it was in there, and there's a reason you didn't want the cops to find it.
Exactly. So, on top of that, imagine if this is a weapon.
Right.
Imagine if this is, a felonious offense it's now getting away with, is cocaine, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you can give the comments, oh, but this is my cocaine and whatever, The whole point of this is that you should be under. What were the comments on this?
I never understood why arrests are made without backup.
100%. Whoever this guy is, shout out.
Cop is blessed that it wasn't a gun in there.
100%. Shout out to
He's way
this guy.
too relaxed in the situation.
Yeah.
That's complacency right there, boys and girls.
Yep. That happens.
Did she have drugs near her area? Probably. That's where most people keep them.
Yep. Don't let them get too close. It's up there.
I wouldn't even let a young kid come up because you don't know what that person's going to do.
Well, and it also, let's say this person starts to resist. Now I'm in a 2-on-1 fight.
One last reach around for a moment.
And if that's what it was, I've let people say goodbye, but typically they're saying goodbye in my patrol car.
Yeah. When they're in my
patrol car handcuffed.
There's bars on the window. I'm going to roll the window down this much, and I'm going to stand by the other side of the car.
Yep.
Or on the other door, watching them say goodbye.
And for all you know, look at it this way. Let's say this was an abuser of some sort, right? Let's say something happened there, and she's just so scared and riled up about it that you're just opening yourself up to a lot that's happening there. So
this is going to be our last.
Is this the last link?
This is the last one.
Okay. So, and we'll talk about this.
You want to preface this?
So
this is a violent situation.
Yeah. So, and again, trigger warning to anybody that gets triggered by stuff like this. I thought it was we need to address stuff like this. This goes into training. This goes into again what you're signing up for, and what's the possibility of what you're going to have to do any day. These people write it to me, which should
No,
be
2 cars.
Was it 2 cars?
Yeah, they were in a chase, police chase. They were in
so
a
anyway,
pursuit.
to lucky, there's a second officer here.
Yeah.
Well, relatively.
Let me see that right hand! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! I'm hit! I'm hit!
Video picks up just after 1:30 a.m. August
they prefaced it,
22nd
good.
as a Greenfield officer chases after a driver who just ran a red light. The driver eventually rolls over stop sticks, then crashes at 27th and Beecher.
So, just right off the bat, with vehicle pursuits, this is why vehicle pursuits, I get it. Why, this is the only thing that I get remotely sympathetic with admin about, is that this kind of stuff tends to happen, unfortunately. So
yeah,
why,
no pursuit is safe.
Yeah, like this accident,
And
I mean,
they
could have just killed a family of 4 right there.
I don't care where you're working. You shouldn't be running stop signs and then getting into a pursuit. Like,
no.
Is the measly Class C misdemeanor really worth
It's not
this?
worth running
Like,
from the cops.
what if that's what they were chasing this for?
So
I don't think it was. But
there's a pretty cavalier attitude most people have about running from the police and all that kind of stuff. Your little Prius isn't designed to drive like that. Most people's cars.
My first pursuit was with a Prius.
Amen.
And it went 155 miles an hour.
Did it really?
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Toyota.
It was wild.
My God.
Yeah. I was in a brand new Charger, and the Charger topped out at 145, and he kept going. And I was like,
dang,
what am I going to do? And then he crashed. Luckily, he crashed into a curb, not another car. But
yeah, but anyways, a lot of people, I see this a lot, like the motorcycle community and things of that nature, where they have a pretty cavalier attitude about running from the police. Typically,
I would never chase a motorcycle.
And I never did either. Typically, I'd throw my lights on, see if they stop. If they didn't stop, I'd just turn back off. Because it's not worth, I'm protecting that person from themselves. The Class C misdemeanor is not important enough for me. They're ignorant enough to run. That's on them. I don't need to be endangering other people to do it. However,
today's word, ignorant.
Yeah, ignorant. Yeah, add that to a skit. But there comes a point in time where it's a felony offense or it's something. Again, if this guy's cranking rounds off in the middle of the neighborhood,
very different.
This guy's going to jail. You know, if this guy is involved in a drive-by shooting, or he's involved in a felony domestic where he, took his kids hostage, beat his wife half to death, and is now running. This guy's going to jail. Okay, like that's what we sign up to go do. That's our job. The public that relies on us to take people like this into custody. The problem with that lies that there is an element if these people are willing to drive cars and do all this crazy nonsense and get in car accidents, probably willing to kill somebody to not go to jail.
Or at least they don't care.
Yes.
Like, they don't care if people get in accidents behind them.
Yeah.
They don't care if they cause accidents.
So the reality
Imagine
of
if
it,
someone was walking across the road.
Yeah. The reality of it is that this is the unfortunate end result a lot of times of these is that you're not only damaging property, you could have killed again, like a family of 4, could have died right then and there, all because this guy decided to go and run from the cops. And clearly doesn't value life here. Again, we're prefacing all this because it's where we're getting to.
Show me your hand! Show me your hand! Stay in the car!
Shout out to any officer that's going to be out there. Turn off your siren if you're having to give verbal commands. They did it.
Well,
thank God they did it. But a lot of times,
technically, it should shut off when you put your car in park.
Yeah, I've seen a few. I think it's the older cars that used to not do that.
Yeah.
But if you're good way to know if you're in park or not. You also don't want to leave your car running while you're doing this.
But I will say, after being in a 6-minute pursuit that wrecked, I left my driver's side door open. Car was running.
And that I can understand, yeah.
Because the dude crashed and then bailed.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Now, in this instance, I don't know if I'm rushing up to this car.
Yeah.
Because it's so wrecked. And where the second officer was, she should have been able to see if he was getting out.
Yeah.
But
so anyways, they have to approach this car. Obviously, it wrecked out. I believe... I don't know if they knew that this guy... This is a high-risk takedown regardless, so you're going to be pointing guns
since
at
he
this
ran
car,
and you're in a pursuit, you're pointing guns at that car all day long. I mean...
And again, it's the reason is this is an unknown threat. It's technically evading in a vehicle is going to be seen as also a violent thing to be doing. If you're already committed to violence, you gotta know what you're walking into. And this is why we approach cars with guns out.
Yeah.
Show me your hands!
Giving commands.
Don't move! Don't move! Don't move! Show me your hands right now!
Police say the officers ordered the armed man 18 times to show his hands.
So one officer's on the driver's side, one's on the passenger side.
So I will...
Not a great
I will say this.
Tactic.
So let me give you like a diagram. Let's say this is the car, right? So if officer number 1's here and officer number 2's here, and you start shooting at each other inside of the car, you have what we call crossfire. You are now shooting both as each other's backstops. Just as a rule of thumb, you don't want that. Let's make L's, not lines. And so if you had an officer here and you just wanted another officer to observe what was going on and had him at like a 6 o'clock position, a 3 o'clock position, you're at least not shooting at each other. It would be my suggestion. She doesn't get right on it, but this is theoretically... they can't see past the airbag.
Right.
Because
there's curtain airbags.
So the male officer in this instance
steering wheel airbag,
trying to look through the windshield, which is a relatively safe place to go do it. This car's not going anywhere. This secondary officer needs to be in a position to assist this person, which they failed to do so.
Yeah.
We'll keep playing.
The other approaches the back of the car. The other is at the front.
But
this is
even right here, if she were to take that shot, that could come right up to him.
Or hit him right in the face.
You know what I mean? He's at least pointing down and into the car.
Yeah.
Not great. But if she were to take that shot,
yeah,
it would go right through. You know, I just...
From that officer's body cam.
Not great.
Hands up! Hands up!
The officer leans up against the windshield.
So, did she see the gun?
Give
or
her
what?
sponsor now.
Saying,
Back off! We're
I was talking to this lady.
So she did get on the radio to ask for more units. They probably already know because they're...
It was in a pursuit. They had spike strips.
Probably other
This was a long pursuit, I bet.
I do like that she is keeping her head on a swivel. This guy doesn't need to be walking up on them while they're doing this. So,
and he's mad because his car just got ran into.
Which is relatively understandable.
But like we said last time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a car accident, dude. It'll get figured out.
Yeah, let it be what it is.
You'll be alright.
So...
We know! Back up! Put your hands up now! Let me see that right hand!
Ooh.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
So, again, in a crossfire situation, she couldn't shoot. I'm kind of glad she didn't in this case because she probably could have killed her partner.
We'll see if you say that.
However,
in another 10 seconds.
However, if you're getting shot at, and you feel pretty good about this back, so you got a truck basically as a backstop.
Yeah, but is there somebody in it? Because it was just driving.
Maybe there's somebody in it. Maybe that's why. I think it's the guy that was walking around. Maybe that was the guy.
You think?
I don't know what the situation is. If that car's occupied, I totally understand this. However, an easy way to reconcile the situation, and we're totally Monday morning quarterbacking this thing, is to walk around from where she's at, get right in this driver's side door, and stop this person from shooting. And by stop this person from shooting, and I'm sorry that this is going to rub people the wrong way.
Shoot them.
Is you shoot them.
Yeah.
But in a way that you're not having, you can shoot down into the car, stop that guy from shooting. He's not valuing life.
You eliminate the threat.
All of those bullets that whizzed out at this officer could have totally hit that dude in the white shirt. Could have totally hit Sally.
Gone into this house.
100%. You're in a residential neighborhood.
Not that way.
All I'm getting at is like
you're in a neighborhood.
If someone's beginning to shoot, your job as an officer is to stop that person from shooting in the most expeditious way possible. That requires discharging your firearm. I did not see a muzzle flash. Maybe I'm wrong.
Nope.
But
you're not wrong.
I don't know.
There was.
I'm hit. I'm hit.
Here it comes.
You have a partner that's hit also. Now.
The officer at the front of the car
is hit and falls to the ground.
The driver then shoots at the backup officer
Your vest ain't
while
gonna save
getting
you
out
there.
of the vehicle.
Pause it. This is not a tactical retreat.
Yeah. That's just right.
This? While your partner, who's been shot, is trading rounds with a guy, and you're turning your back to run away, find a new job.
Cover, the driver, and the
Well, and
injured
also,
officer.
just to even go more so than that.
No, you went too far.
If you really want to look at this too.
He goes around the
Shot fired! Shot fired! Shot fired! I'm hit! I'm hit!
The officer at the front of the car is hit and falls to the ground. The driver then shoots at the backup officer while getting out of the vehicle.
No, go back. Go back. Right there?
It's a good shot.
Here's her gun. Here's the guy. Here's her gun. Here's the guy.
Man.
How's he not dead?
Yeah. Just from what you can see there, this is the other, and again, it's not so much that we're also. I'm obviously in my heart of hearts, I'm worried about these officers, right? Specifically, this guy that's already wounded and not getting any help. If this guy's already shooting, right? What might he do when he goes down the street?
He's right next to a house. What's going to stop him from kicking in the door and shooting anyone that's in that house?
Yep. Or
when
carjacking the next person down the street, shooting that person.
Here's what else is messed up. He's getting out the back door.
Yeah.
So he has to climb from the driver's seat out the back door.
Yeah.
And you couldn't.
And I get it. Like I get it. We weren't in this situation, and I understand all of the affirmative defenses to prosecution on this whole thing. When people talk about, well, you weren't there, you weren't whatever.
Okay.
I
been in shooting.
I don't understand. All I'm getting at is this is the job that you're signing up for.
Yeah.
And if you are not ready to perform at this capacity to do this very thing,
while getting out of the vehicle,
a shot was fired.
The other thing too, so this guy clearly here, this comes down to situational awareness, and I get it. You get tunnel vision. When I was a rookie cop, I was super new. My first couple of critical incidences, it was super easy to get tunnel vision, and I get that.
Sucked in.
But, big but, there's gunfire being exchanged here, right? And so, if I know that there's gunfire being exchanged here, I probably want to hang out right next to where this officer's at and continue to judiciously help him stop the situation.
Well, you would have done that had you retreated in such a way that allowed you to remain in this fight.
Yeah.
When you turn and run away...
She's actually running into his backstop.
Yes.
She's actually, theoretically, if he's
still
doing
shooting
the job that he probably is doing,
yeah.
He's now more concerned about shooting because he's now has a friendly person behind him. I don't know.
Meanwhile, this guy
is just mad dumping.
Gets out of his driver's seat through the back door.
Discover the driver and the injured officer continue to fire at each other.
This dude's a badass.
Yeah.
Oh, look, his pants are around his...
As he runs from the car, the driver jumps over the injured officer, takes aim again, this time from point blank.
God, he's cranking rounds off at him.
Behind him.
He wants to kill this guy. Yeah, it's just... And right now, the other problem on top of this, too, you're completely out of the fight over here. You were in the fight. You had a possibility of being in the fight. You took yourself out of it. And
the possibility of ending the fight.
If this guy didn't think about running and just stood over there, he would have killed that guy.
Yeah. He would have been able to shoot him right in the head.
Easy.
And it would have been done.
He's running! He's running!
This is why I didn't want to watch this. I'm getting more pissed off watching. So, what...
I think everyone should see this. If you're not ready for this, then quit. Don't apply. Don't do the job. I don't know what else to tell you. It's embarrassing. I'm going to step off my soapbox now.
No, I'm trying to think of a way to,
I mean, it's educational all on its own. Because this could happen anywhere. This could happen in any city, anywhere.
There are people are relying on you to do your job. Let's say this is a civilian.
Yeah.
Right? The car accident, just like the accident that happened before.
Yep.
This chick's over here just trying to work an accident.
Yeah, what if if the other officer was a civilian coming up angry, you hit me, and this dude cranks rounds off the windshield at a civilian? Then what are you going to do?
And a lot of people talk about, and there's a whole discussion about, and I'm not mad about the concept of defunding the police. I'm not mad about any of those things. The reality of it is, a social worker can work an accident, technically, right? Sit there, take the report, take the information down.
I mean, we had police service assistants that did that.
Can sit there, take the report down, do whatever. The reason why law enforcement exists in this country, and the way in the capacity that they exist in this country, is because we have ignorance like this, right? You need to be able to use a firearm. You need to be able to use deadly force for this very reason. If this was a civilian, if this was somebody getting taken hostage, if this happens around the world, evil's a thing. What he was doing was evil. He ruined, I don't know, a handful of people's lives there for forever. because for whatever reason, that he wanted to get away in this little Hyundai Sonata here, whatever this is.
Well, and I mean, you can see it right here.
Yeah.
He's dead, and the cop is not.
Yeah.
By some miracle.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know how that happened, but like
that's wild.
If you want to be a police officer, and I'm all for everyone getting an opportunity to go serve and all this kind of stuff, it's really a discussion they're having in the military right now about standards and about hiring practices and fitness standards. There's a bigger discussion for us to have when it comes to law enforcement about fitness standards and training. And again, well, why do you need a Glock, or why do you need an AR-15, or why do you need whatever? We don't need a militarized police. The reality of it is, not 100% of people that I know will never be in that situation.
Right.
Cops, a whole different story. You never know. Every single time you put that uniform on, and you decide that you're going to answer critical incidents, that possibility is there. And if you, this is like, I'd be less mad if she wasn't here. The conversation would be, well, you shouldn't be arresting somebody by yourself.
Yeah.
And
you
shouldn't be doing this. That would be the conversation we're having. Yeah. Here, I'm like mad. Not only obviously at this D-bag that wouldn't decide to go, I'm glad he's taking a dirt nap for trying to kill people, but
of course.
You're going to put the uniform on. You're going to get paid to go do it. You're going to have your thin blue line sticker and all that kind of stuff, but you're not there. You're not there to do the job, and you let a guy get shot 3 times. By the grace of God, he's not dead. And again, if it's a civilian or if it's whatever, like there's just so much. There's so much to that people don't fully understand how weird the job of policing is. What does this guy say?
This is the caption.
Yeah.
Carrying gear is great, but training is critical.
Yep.
Training under physical distress is even better. Fitness and med drills will improve real world performance.
And this is the discussion I have a lot of times with people when they talk about THLs. And in Texas, we have constitutional carry here now, where pretty much anybody, as long as you don't have a criminal record, can go buy a firearm and have it on your place. And they'll say, well, I'm going to go and to stop crime or stop myself from getting robbed or whatever. But it's like, are you really going to do it? And I believe some people can. I believe if you are mentally, spiritually, and psychologically prepared for this, and you train and you keep yourself in a fit place and a fit mind, and you stay situationally aware, and you have all the skills there, knock it out. You can do it all the time. We have that guy in the church. Yeah. This guy smoked a dude in the church from like 40 feet away in the blink of an eye, just like that. Perfectly capable. That guy's a civilian.
This one?
Yeah.
It's hard to read.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch.
Yeah.
But there's cops out there that feel exactly just like this.
Yeah.
They have a backup officer.
Yeah.
And they know that they're probably just alone.
Yeah. You need to be, and I don't even want to say it, this isn't even like a male or female thing. This is a sheerly...
No, I've seen
Yeah.
male cops
100%.
who would do that exact same thing under pressure.
We've seen it in fights.
Yeah.
You're mid-fight and you're looking up at the guy like, hey man.
Yeah. You're going to help.
You spectating or what? Are you taking notes? Like
Thinking about like jumping in.
Yeah. So it I don't know. This makes my blood boil. We all pissed off when I'm watching it again. But like it's important. And a lot of people, again, when they try to have discussions about law enforcement and about law enforcement reform, they like to talk a lot about how people get arrested or how fights turn out and how a lot of stuff. The reality of it is, man, that kind of stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff happens all the time.
It really does.
Or people that are poorly trained negatively affect situations like that and put not only other officers at risk, but the public at risk, really is what you're doing. And so anybody that's like, hey man, dude, holy, she ain't playing games.
This is what we're going to end it on, to take this to a lighter note. So, do you have anything else to say about that previous?
So I say all this to just say that, like, the job's a lot more complicated than you think.
Yeah.
And I think that you're asking too much out of teachers to expect them to do stuff like that. I think you're asking too much out of security guards to expect them to do stuff like that. And I think you're asking too much out of somebody to sit there and say, well, I want them to fit a certain demographic, or I want them to fit a certain, certain amount of hours in X amount of class or B amount of class. If they cannot do that job.
I think some of the baddest people we worked with were a foot shorter than me and about 100 pounds less.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I had a PTO, if she's ever out there watching this, and maybe I'll tag you in this. She was half my size, easy.
She was scary.
And
like I'd get in a fight with her any day.
I had zero doubt in my mind that I was going to be the liability between the two of us. If there was going to be a liability, it was going to be me in that situation.
Yep, 100%.
I had one in field training. It was wild. We had a call that some lady was pointing a gun at people, and she's sitting there, and she takes the AR out, dumps around, and says, "All right, rookie, let's go get him."
That's awesome.
Like, all right,
I can see that happening.
Let's go get it. We went nose to nose with the suspect vehicle. Yeah. And she's bailed out of that car. Immediately started she absolutely scored away. I learned from people like that how to do this job, and it reflected that once I was a cop by myself and got stuck in those same situations, that I was able to see and react appropriately and to create a safer place, not just for me, but for the public.
Yeah.
And so you need officers to be dangerous people still, because ultimately there's bad people that are out there. And if you don't want dangerous police, you have a lot of faith in your neighbor that I just simply don't share because I've experienced this. Or you're coming from a place of privilege to not think that this kind of violence can't find you at any one point in time. If they're safe places, if it's Disneyland or whatever it is, you have no idea how many bodies go without pooping, without eating, without sleeping to make you feel that way at that place. Whether it's in the military, whether it's in the police, whether it's just anxious dads sitting there hyper situationally aware with their probably 1911 in their waistband, Ultimately, there are layers of that, there. And you were just a benefactor of that. So, and again, this is an example of somebody creating that safety.
Grandma's had her purse stolen.
As they would call it, tia, from my people. I'm not going to act like I speak a bunch of Spanish or anything like that. But, old lady's ready to dance.
Yep, I love it.
She says, I'm going to take my safety into my own hands. And I am prepared. She is prepared for violence. For anyone that doesn't know what this is, what are they called? Knuckle
Brass
dusters?
knuckle, baby.
A couple names
good
for
luck.
them.
And hers are pointy.
Hers are legit. Hers mean business.
That's going to put some legit indents into your face. So we'll end it on that.
I believe in get training. If you're in law enforcement or not, if you're a civilian, get training, become more situationally aware.
If you want to see how to handcuff people, we have some great TikToks.
We have some great TikToks on how to handcuff. Yeah,
we really do.
But again, take your safety into your own responsibility. Take ownership of your communities. Care more about what happens, and try to contribute to safety in a way that's within the means of your both training and experience and capabilities.
So we'll try and you want to try and start going live maybe once a week.
So we're gonna do once a week. If anyone wants to comment below what's a good time for us to go do that, we're pretty flexible currently. Yeah. So we're gonna try to do it at least once a week. We might do it twice a week if we get more input on this.
Post it on the gram, hey, we're gonna go live this time.
So go check out. Obviously, we have a bunch of Let's Plays. We have more Officers React stuff.
We have some good Officers React stuff.
We have some stuff coming down the pipeline. Go check out our TikTok. We got a bunch of funny skits on there. We are live on Patreon. We are live on Discord. We're sorting out how all that stuff works.
Yeah.
The more participation we get in that, the more content we will create specifically for that. Again, discussions about the fun stuff, the fun tactical stuff. We have that 10mm Chris Vector sitting behind us that we won't pull in front of the camera. We'll just turn this bitch.
There it is.
Or the patrol rifle that we have sitting on the wall behind this camera.
Or mine. Never mind.
So anyways, check it out.
That there.
We got merch. We have some merch up there. There should be links in Redbubble and stuff like that. And then again, any suggestions you guys have, put in the comments below. We're going to try to do this stuff more often. And then we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for riding 2 Man with us.
Peace.